All right, guys, we are in Massachusetts. See, I can just barely say that from Arkansas. Well, just delivered a monolith, one of the orange and black ones. Pretty stoked about that. Always. Well, we're at Invictus Barbell Club. Isn't that ironic? This is going to be cool. Well, introduce yourself. Tell us about the gym.
My name's Elise Frazier. Owned Invictus Barbell for about 5 years. Been a trainer for a little over 11. This is the only powerlifting gym in the area within about an hour. We are the only place with a monolift on Cape Cod, and now this is going to be our second one. We've grown very fast in the last 3-4 months. Equipped powerlifters, raw powerlifters, general population, strength training clients. Love it here.
This is a cool place. We're going to show you some video. Just kind of rolling out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really getting started.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited to see where you're going to be in 2 or 3 years.
Thank you.
Especially when you break out. I don't think it'll be long. You'll break out of this building.
Yeah, we're kind of scratched the surface of moving into this bay here from our starter bay and see what happens. Either a larger spot or a second hub location.
Where do you want it to go?
I don't mind this size. I like the community. I like the smaller group of people. We're very close here. A lot of people that join are coming from commercial gyms that don't know what community's like.
Yeah.
Then they start to grow in the powerlifting community, and it's a game changer for so many people.
You know, that is one of the biggest things with powerlifting. I think everybody's freaked out by it.
Oh yeah.
They're scared to death of it.
Absolutely.
But you know, they get in here and they figure out, hey, that's a family.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and it's whether we're in Massachusetts or Arkansas or California or anywhere in the country that I go in, we're everywhere in the country. It's always the same. It's always a little family. Whether it's 5 or 6 guys in a garage, we dropped off in a garage yesterday, or a gym like this, or in Olympus or some place like that, in some gigantic gym.
Commercial grade, yeah.
Yeah, it's always the same. It's always, just a nice community. People are really pushing on each other. And
that's the goal.
Where do they get scared of us at?
Somewhere in between the smelling salts and maybe the equipped lifters.
It's Louis Simmons. It's Louis Simmons and those crazy, crazy guys at Westside.
That comes in the starter pack of joining here. I say, why don't you go home and watch Westside vs. the World and then come back into the gym? And a lot of them, it kind of clicks at some point. Our rule in here is it doesn't matter if you're squatting or benching just the bar, or if you're going for a max effort lift that's 4 times your body weight. It doesn't matter. Everyone gets treated the same. So that's something that I really reiterate with people. People that just come in just for general strength, and we're going for a 1 rep max.
It doesn't matter.
It's still your 1 rep max.
I think that's what the biggest misconception is, that people just don't realize all we're trying to do is move forward.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Chip it. Just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little, If your training cycle moved forward, I'll tell you something else. Even if your training cycle didn't move forward and you moved back, but you learned something about how to move forward, that's still a successful training cycle.
Absolutely.
Because you can't constantly move forward.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we'd have guys, squatting 2 grand.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be 1,000 pounds.
Right.
It'd be something else. But anyway, so tell us we kind of talked a little bit a while ago, so we know where this is going, but tell us how you got started I know you didn't start in powerlifting.
Nope.
So tell us from the beginning, what happened?
Very beginning, I had gone to school for business management. I graduated, took a couple years and worked in retail and just kind of just treading water.
Figured out you didn't like that?
Yeah. People are great, but my people, powerlifters, ended up being that's like the cream of the crop for me. So spent a few years just doing different things. My dad actually is the reason why I became a trainer in the first place. So he said, hey, just take the class, get it down, see what happens. So I took the class. I remember trying to teach someone how to do a push-up, and that was just like mortifying. And I'm like, okay, we'll get somewhere. And that turned into getting a part-time job, opening a gym, doing the shift nobody wanted to do, 4:30 in the morning till about 8 or 9 in the morning, and then going to my other job. So did that a couple of years. Worked the desk, sold memberships at a commercial gym, eventually switched over to just becoming a trainer. And when I made that commitment just to be a trainer, I kind of set forth the management portion of that, or front desk work. I kind of backburnered that. Really put all my eggs in the basket of just being a trainer. Learned a lot about nutrition, started educating myself, taking different courses, just trying to push myself as hard as I could. Did that for quite a few years. Got to a point with commercial gyms that just wasn't clicking anymore, and I knew that I was more valuable outside of a commercial gym.
Yeah.
So in
they kind of hold you back.
Yeah, they do.
On purpose.
Yeah.
They're scared of us too.
Yeah. So and I started powerlifting at some point after bodybuilding for a little while, working at a commercial gym, and some time went by. I made the decision in fall of 2019 to go out on my own. I was just paying a gym similar to this, garage bay type. Just paid them for space, just see what happens. I went in with the idea that maybe some of my clients would follow me. I'd say about 80% of my clients came with me. So from that move from a commercial gym onto my own, a few months go by, 2020 rolls around, and then the world stops. So that kind of led to me just saying, oh, I'm not going to work at this place. Ended up opening my own very small bay, which is about a third the size of this place now. Very speakeasy. If you knew about it, you knew about it. Come train with us. Very small, from a small group. My clients came over, they brought their friends. A lot of police, fire, nurses,
We still get
military.
a lot of that, yeah.
Yep, it's a very big base with my clientele still. And again, time went by around here on Cape Cod. It's not great in the wintertime. So
No, it's freaking cold.
It's very cold, very sad. So I just, I essentially just pulled the trigger on running a mock meet. So I had about 15 or 16 people doing a full power meet on one like $200 cap barbell rack that we had to physically move up and down. It's wild. We did a full power style meet. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'd be stoked about that.
A lot of those people I'm still friends with, or they're still my clients, which is amazing. That was in 2021. And then I just started doing event after event. So let's do a deadlift only, let's do this, let's do that. Ran probably about a half a dozen mock meets. And then it was like, okay, we moved in here May 23. And with all this space, I said, let's get a sanctioned meet. So we had our first sanctioned meet last June. We had our second one a couple weeks ago, January. And we have our third sanctioned meet coming up this June. So came a long way. When we stepped through the doors of here, it did not look anything like this. Very crazy in here.
Yeah.
It was a foundations company prior, so there was a lot of oil and guck and stuff everywhere. But when I stepped foot through this door here, and I brought my clients to this bay, I said within 18 months we're going to have our first sanctioned meet, and I did it in 13 months.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So very,
She's
very
got a
proud
cool
of that.
place. It's not a commercial gym, I promise you that.
Yeah.
She's done a good job. This is a great place to start. Now it's perfect.
Yeah. Now it's perfect. Yeah. Color
I don't know
combo is
about
great,
Yeah, the freaking orange is awesome. I'm telling you, I love that orange.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, you've done a great job.
Thank you.
Let's not just talk. I'm really curious to see where you take this.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
you just keep hammering away with what you're doing.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna
Keep showing up.
yeah.
Now
That's what it is.
Just keep moving
You
forward.
just keep, yep.
Yeah. I raised my kids telling them that. And
Yeah,
I can't
absolutely.
tell you how many times I've told guys in the gym,
Yeah.
just quit worrying about it. Just move forward. That's all.
Just show up and lift.
But
That's what I tell people, just show up and lift.
now you came out of bodybuilding into this, and you
Yeah.
kind of told me about that.
Yeah.
But now, to me, that's a tremendous advantage because you know how to eat.
Yeah, some days.
Well, that doesn't mean you
Yeah.
have to eat,
Yeah.
but you know how to
Yeah.
eat. I think probably when I set my all time, only Dawn and a couple of my close friends in the gym know how much food I was consuming.
Oh, yeah.
Good food. I mean, I was actually running, besides right before and after my training sessions, I was bodybuilding diet.
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh my
it's
goodness. I
hammering
was
a lot.
when I retired, my favorite thing about retiring
Yeah.
is there's no 6 meals anymore.
Yeah, you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah, I eat once or
Yeah.
twice a day.
Yep.
But, how much of an advantage do you think that is for you? Or do you think it was at all?
I think initially it was kind of that shocker of starting to lift heavy and you get more flexibility with the food.
Yeah.
But I would say the more important part for me now, doing this longer, is having a lot of newer clients, very new to strength training, that don't really know much about nutrition to begin with, or
Yeah.
whatever they know they've read, and it might not
Oh,
be
goodness.
true, or it might be from sketchy sources. But the ability to be able to tell somebody, you have to fuel your workout. So if you're fueling your workout properly, and you're doing all the other extra stuff, you're taking the time for recovery, you're sleeping, you're hydrated, all that other extra stuff, it kind of just stacks up, right? So being able to, maybe not myself hammer it as much on like the more aggressive end, but being able to reteach that
Yeah.
is, I think, more of where my benefit comes from that. So being able to tell these 20-somethings, 30-somethings, and even people in their 40s and 50s, hey, if you really want to lift and you want to reach that goal, whatever that goal might be. For some people it's, I want to hit 135. For some people it's, I want to hit
1,000.
1,000. Like I have someone setting up for. So it's one of those things where it's just hammering the discipline, but it's a little easier to teach it that way
Yeah.
versus saying you cannot do this, you cannot do that. And it's like, well, no, if you hit your protein goal and you're fueling your workouts and you're staying hydrated, 9 out of 10 times people start to understand it. And they like, oh, I didn't eat breakfast today. That could be why I didn't have as much energy for this lift.
Oh, no,
And you gotta
absolutely.
let them say that on their own. So something I've always done is you gotta let people learn on their own. I can only hammer so much, but there always needs to be that kind of self-check-in that they do that they're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Whether it's food or training or recovery, or for some people it's as simple as, you told me 10 times to wear this certain pair of shoes when I do this. I should probably
That's
make
right.
sure I'm doing that.
It's the little- I can't tell you how many times I've told people that, I think I need a new suit. This suit's not working out, or I need to take this, or I need to do that. And I'm over here like,
Yeah.
no, you're not doing the small. You're trying to do big things. You're not even taking care of the little thing. How much sleep did you get last night?
Yeah. Huge.
I slept for 4 or 5
Yeah.
hours. That's all I ever get. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
No.
Just
You're
because
not.
it's what you're doing doesn't mean it's what's,
No, that's right.
ideal.
When I set the all time, I was sleeping 8 or 9 hours
Yeah.
every night, and I was coming home at midday. Now I know everybody can't do that,
Yeah.
but I was coming
Yeah.
home midday and getting a 30 to 45 minute
I
nap.
live by my naps.
Before, I would take my nap. I would have my 4th meal, and then I would go to the gym, and then I
But
would
it's also
train.
routine.
Yeah. Oh no.
Hammer routine.
My business, if somebody wanted me to bid a house during that time, I just tell them, I've already got something scheduled right there. How about in the morning?
Yeah.
And you just
Yeah.
it has to be important to you.
Exactly.
But
I've
then the
definitely
big
learned that
things-
more recently than
Then
not.
the big things really become important then,
Yes.
once you get all the little stones, but then it makes a big difference.
So, like I told you earlier about cutting weight or not cutting weight, or fitting into a weight class, or
Oh, yeah.
you know, it's like you're driving for 11 hours. You think like if I needed to, I could do it. But if it's a big stage for me and I don't want that extra stressor, then I'm not going to do it.
No, that's right.
So it's, you know, you got to kind of pick and choose your battles. So
I've had people drive that far
yeah,
just to come and train with me.
yeah, exactly.
Just to see.
I drove 3 hours to and from. I left the Cape at 5 a.m. last Sunday, drive down to Connecticut to go work out at Hellbent Barbell, and you know, come back here.
Having
3
different
hours
people
to go
look
swap
at
with
you.
people that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
Having different people look at you.
yeah,
You know, because everybody's better at whatever discipline they're the best at. And you start putting all those pieces together and getting that critique. You know, I tell this to people all the time. Your friends that pat you on the butt and tell you how great you are, don't train with them.
yeah,
You want to train with some butthole
yeah,
that will hit you in the face and ask you, what in the world are you doing? You know, did you see this? Did you see that? You know.
and that's definitely something that I've fallen into, with finding the happy medium between coaching, being someone's friend. A lot of, because I mean, I've been doing this long enough now. I have a lot of kids that call me mom, you know, like, hey mom, you know, they call me in the middle of the night, what's going on, go do this, whatever. And it's one of those things where
That's okay.
this is the game plan,
But
let's get it together here. So, but it makes, again, for more meaningful relationships and better community. And like I mentioned, you have got a handful of people that I ask and I receive, and that's like the greatest gift in the world.
Oh yeah,
To be able to build
good
that.
care of me.
Yes.
When he put people around me that.
Yeah.
Even now, I know I've got 4 or 5 guys in the gym that I can say, hey, I found something, I need some money.
Yeah.
And they
Let's do
just
it.
get out their checkbooks and where we go. You know?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the kind of people you got to have around you.
Yeah.
But no, they'll jump under the bar with you too.
Yeah.
Save my
So
life.
yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, it's just been fun.
Awesome. Thank you.
I've had a great time. It's a long ways. We're way north. How did you get us this far north? Yes, we've got stuff everywhere.
Awesome. First one on Cape.
First one on the Cape. I'm glad it's an orange one. I
Me
like
too.
the orange.
I think she needs to explain why she wanted orange.
You
I can do that.
Tell us
I can do that.
Why orange?
So about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I lost one of my very good friends in lifters, and his color was always orange. He did the very first mock meet I ever hosted at my old gym. He had gone on to do deadlift competitions. We competed together half a dozen times. Someone was very close to me, and when he passed, I had already had this sort of in my mind, and the orange extended to the hair, it's on my squat suit, it's on my wraps. The black and orange is for my friend James. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, people, if you're not involved with powerlifting,
Yep.
it's a bigger deal than what you think it is.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, we still bleed on the floor sometimes.
Just
but,
a little bit.
yeah, you know, but that's not what it's about.
Yeah.
We have great relationships.
Definitely.
Well, I guess we should wrap this up and
Yeah.
pack us up and, well, I started saying head back to Arkansas, but we're not going to Arkansas. We're going to DC.
There you go. Next time you're here, you gotta go to the beach before it's probably frozen over right now.
No,
Frozen over
I
right now.
promise you, it's froze over right now. It's cold. You know, it's not as cold here as it was in Michigan yesterday.
Which is wild, but
It
yeah.
was freaking cold in
Yeah.
Michigan. It was. Well, anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. I had a great time down here. If you're ever up here in the Cape Cod area, stop in and check this place out.
Thank
You'll
you.
like it. We'll see you guys on the flip side.